And we are live. Good evening, our dear viewers. Good evening, Grover Challenge viewers. Good evening, our participants. Today, my name is Sharon Kende. I'm here with Mr. Kayode. We'll be talking on earth management for vegetables in production. So, Mr. Kayode, kindly introduce yourself to us, sir.
Thank you, Madam Sharon. Good evening, everybody. I'm Idowu Kayode by name, just as the anchor introduced me. I'm a vegetable production expert, and once again, Happy New Year to all our participants, both home
Same.
and away. And I believe this year will be a great one for every one of us, and I believe everyone is ready to ride on the train of being an expert in vegetable production. So stay tuned as this class is going to be an interactive one. Thank you very much.
Yes, just like Mr. Kayode said, today class promised to be insightful, practical, and an interactive class. So if you have any comments, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it. We attend to the ones we can. So I'll be asking Mr. Kayode by starting that what does plant health management mean in practical terms for vegetable farmers?
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Sharon. What does plant health management mean in practical terms for vegetable farmers? That's a very good question, and it's a good one to start with because um, just as the terms implies, health, plants, and management. Let's take the key word there, management, because the management we'll be talking more on the management because it boils down to every other things we are going to be saying. So the management is a general word. We use management in all aspects of our life. In every aspect of your life, you need management. So it also applies in the aspect of plants, plant production. So, in a short term or in a short word, plant health management simply means the way, the style, the systematic approach you are using or you want to use or you decided to use in managing your plants from the nursery stage down to the end of the production stage. The approach that you take into consideration in making sure the well-being of your plants is 100% healthy before and after. What I mean by before is during when the plant is not even showing any sign of sickness, and even when the plants are showing some sign of sickness, those approach that you took to make sure that they were resolved, and all through those process, your plants are healthy. That's what we call plant health management. Thank you very much, Madam Sharon.
Wow, that is very interesting. So plant health management. So I'm moving to the next question. And the next question says, why is plant health management critical in achieving good yield in vegetable production? That what is the importance of this plant management that we're talking about? You're saying that it's important and it's critical for us. So what does it do exactly? Why is it very important in our yield especially?
Thank you very much, Ms. Sharon. Um, Plant health management is very, very critical. In short, management is a critical aspect of our life, and it applies to plant also. It's a very critical aspect because it will determine the overall success of what you are going into. The overall success of your production will determine the kind of management practice you put into place. So it is very, very critical because one, it will determine your overall yield. What goes in is what comes out. So if your management is at top notch, then you should be expecting something good at the end of the day. Also, plant health management is critical because it also helps us to have a good yield. When I mean good yield, when you have a healthy plant, that means what will be coming out from that plant will be healthy for human consumption. So we are talking about good yield. The next one is food safety and food security. These are very, very critical aspects because if your plant is not healthy, or if you don't manage your plant properly, and the end use of your plant, the end, can you hear me, Sharon? Can I go ahead?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, okay.
Yes, you can go ahead. You can go ahead. Are you still with me, sir?
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Okay. Yes, you are very audible, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I was talking about
Welcome, sir.
food sustainability, food safety, and food security. So your management, your plant health
Okay.
management is also critical in the aspect of food security. Also, your plant health management is also critical in the way we manage our soil. Our soil structure is very, very important to determine the well-being of our plants. So the management is critical in that aspect too, to make sure that the sustainability of our soil are also looked into, are very, very put in a top priority, because I always say this: the success of every production, or every management in the agri sector starts from the management of our soil, because whatever we are giving to our plants goes into the soil. So if we're not considering managing the soil, there is no way we can get the best from the plants. So there are other critical aspects that plays a good role in our plant health management. Your plants to be able to withstand stress tolerance. If you notice presently, we're having issue of climate change, and in short, I don't know if in your region, if you're in Nigeria, if you notice Amatan this late last year stroke early this year, because in my region there was no Amatan at all. And what that signifies is there is this climate change that is happening. So if you are not considering that, if you don't have a top management practice in place, you might be having issue with the health and the well-being of your crop. So when you look into that, you will know that it is very, very critical to understand that whatever you are doing to your plants will determine the end result of your plants. So another critical aspect is your plants will be able to withstand stress. They'll be able to suppress disease, and there are also many critical aspects that we can talk about. But let's spend it on that one. Thank you, Miss Sharon.
Okay, that is very fantastic. Your plants need good management for your plants to be able to withstand with the stress and everything and the production. So you need to manage your plant very well. So I'll be going forward with the next questions that says, what are the most common plant health problems Nigerian
Well done, Mr. Kayode.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tunde. I guess Sharon network
Good
is
evening.
very bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. I guess it was bad. Yeah. Hopefully, she joins us back. So, I think she has
Yeah.
asked how many questions now.
We just talked about plant health management and why plant health management are critical to vegetable farmers. I think that's the major two questions she asks.
All right. So, I will just be proceeding from where she stopped now. Uh,
Okay, okay,
our viewers, my name is Tunde Okonola. You must have seen my face very well. Okay. So, now we'll just be proceeding with Mr. Kayode in demystifying some of the questions we have for him regarding plant health management as it relates to vegetable production. Okay. So, the next question I'll be asking you, Mr. Kayode, what are the most
okay.
common plant health problems? What are the most common plant health problems vegetable farmers face in Nigeria?
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Tunde. This question is very, very important and vital because the overall success of the well-being of your plant or the overall success of your management boils down to how you manage these challenges. And these challenges are not just one; they are multiples. But I will try and name just few. The most one that are common with, will I say, vegetable farmers in Nigeria. If I say vegetable farmers in Nigeria, I might be a little bit biased because I think we have some participants from diasporas too, and their climate or their weather might be different from ours, but um, majority of the challenges might also be synonymous. But let me just name few. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Mr.
Yes,
Tunde?
yes, yes, definitely. We can hear you. We can hear you, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
So as I was saying, I might be biased if I just mention the challenges the farmers in Nigeria are having because we definitely have participants in diaspora too. So, but I'll just try to list something that is kind of synonymous to everyone. Um, Let me start with the pests, insect pests and disease. Majority of the challenges vegetable farmers experience are insects. Insect is one of the most destructive challenges we encounter, not only in Nigeria, in all over the world. And one of the most common insects are thrips, aphids. I believe we might have heard about that. Our fall army worms. We also have the white flies that are very, very destructive to, and they reduce the economic value of our crops. So let me just, and we also have the millipedes, and those are destructive insects to your vegetable production. So if you are able to manage those situations, you are fine maximally. Another issue is disease challenge. And I believe that the disease we experience in Nigeria is also the kind of disease they experience in other parts of the world. And the disease, I'm going to categorize the disease into two. We have the, no, let me categorize them into three. We have the fungi disease, which include the early blight, late blight, downy mildew, and root rots. Those are the fungi disease. We also have the bacterial disease, like the bacterial wilts. We have the soft rots. We also have the bacterial spot or bacterial speck, and we also have the viral disease. And this viral disease our like the cucumber mosaic virus, we have the tomato yellow leaf curl virus, we have the chili leaf curl virus, and so on. So those are the kind of disease that I know that are synonymous to every vegetable producer all over the world. We also have the aspect of climate change. I made mention of climate change in when I was talking about the critical aspect of plant health management. Climate change is one of the major aspect that is affecting us all over the world now. So you must also understand the change in your weather, the change in your climate. I don't know. A lot of us presently experience in Nigeria mostly and in our region in the southwest. There was no harmattan. I don't know if a lot of other producers experience such. And if there is harmattan, it might just started coming out presently. So those are the kind of things we are talking about here, that you have to also study and understand all these things so that you help to be able to make your decision in getting a good output or in having a good management plan for your plants. Also, we have the poor soil. I am a fan of making sure your soil is healthy. If your soil is not healthy, definitely every other thing you are doing is just wasting of time. So by the time you make sure that you do everything possible to make sure your soil is healthy, then you are going to be good in your production aspect. Also, we are having an issue of not getting a good quality seed. If you are not getting a good quality seed, not just getting a good quality seed, also knowing the characteristics of that, what characteristic those seeds plays. Because sometimes, for instance, now if you decide to go and plant a tomato variety seeds that does well in rainy season and you decided to go and plant it in dry season, definitely you'll be having some serious challenges. So, but if you know the seed that is good for dry season and you intended to go into that, then you know that okay, this that is what I want to plant. And you should also know that the kind of seed you are planting will also determine what you are getting at the end of the day. Also, your water management is very, very important too, because some of us, we don't know how to water. We just believe that if you have watered our plant, that is oil. Or somebody was complaining to me some days back that his boys just on the irrigation tap or the irrigation is irrigation and left the water to be running for hours. And by the time they discovered that a lot of the plants have wilted, exactly that is going to be what you will experience because you didn't manage your water properly. And why? The plants are also living things, so they breathe. So by the time you overwater the plant, you have already over water the soil. They cannot breathe because there is no air that is passing through, so they'll definitely choke. It's just like when you dip your head inside the water, how will you feel? You cannot stay there for long. At the end of the day, you will give up the ghost. So same applies to the plants. Also your nutrient management is very, very important. The is one of the challenges we experience. We want to over fertilize our plants so that they will come out big, they will come out good. No, it is not a good means or good management style. You must have a structure, a feeding regime, or a nutrient plan that your plant requires, because what is needed by a tomato plant is not what is needed by a pepper plant. Of course, they need the same, or they need the same NPK, calcium, magnesium, but the requirements differs because they are of different crop, even if they come from the same family. So those are a lot of challenges we experience, farmers around the world experience too. So if we can manage those situations, I believe that the health of our plant will be top notch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kayode. I believe you can hear me
You're
now.
welcome. Yes, I can hear you. Welcome back, Miss
Thank
Sharon.
you. Thank you, Sam. So I'm taking some of our comments. Mr. Talabi saying, "Nice to see you, Mr. Sharon and Mr. Kayode. Thank you so much, Sam." Is greeting Mr. T. Welcome on board. Thank you, Sam. We have Kushi Ashwanti also. She's greeting us. We are also extending our greetings to you also. So, Mr. Kayode, I've heard about what is said, the reason why the problems of the common plant health vegetables farmer face. Now I'll be asking you that, how can farmers detect this sign early? How do we know that, oh, this is this pest, oh, is already invading my farm? How can they know it early before it becomes a very serious problem and wipes up their farm entirely?
Okay, thank you, Miss Sharon. Welcome back. The network is trying to pull you out, but devil is a liar. These are very critical and intelligent question because it's going to determine the success of your production. And for our participants, this is what they actually need that will help them. Um, for farmers to detect early signs of pest and disease, one thing I would definitely say, you cannot be an absentee farmer. You have to be present. You have to engage. You have to involve yourself. You have to become the what is it called? The agronomist on the farm. One of the major way you can you can detect early signs is what we call scouting. Scouting simply means by the time you go to your farm in the morning, you check your plants. You check your plant, not one after the other. You check them randomly because definitely you cannot check 20,000 plants that is in the field one after the other, but you just check them randomly. That randomly is what we call scouting. So by the time you check them randomly, you can easily have an idea how your plant, what your plant is saying, what your plant is telling you. And with that, you can now know that this plant is showing sign of nitrogen deficiency or phosphorus deficiency, or I notice some white substance flying. What are they? You might not even know the name, but you can, since you can see them physically, you can say, I saw some white, small, tiny stuff flying in the leaf of my plant. That's technically white fly that is already showing that I am here, I am here. If you don't take action instantly, I'm going to show you shege. So that scouting will make you to take a decision on that. That's one. Another way farmers can detect early sign of pests and disease is them being able to identify normal plants from abnormal plants. Definitely, healthy plants, you will know how your healthy plants are looking. They will be green, the leaf will be broad, they will be fresh. Unlike plant that is shrinking, that is folding the leaf up, or is folding its leaf down, or is having some necrosis or some yellowish on the leaf. That's a sign that these plants are not looking good. That's the sign that these plants are telling me something. What am I going to do? Another way is for you to integrate or incorporate what we call sticky traps. Sticky trap is a biological means to capture insects in your field. You can use it in the greenhouse, you can use it in the open field. We have the blue ones, we have the yellow ones, we have the white ones. These are traps that can help you to capture some insects. By the time those traps are able to capture those insects, it will help you to make your decision that so this green little stuff is available or is present in my field. So that will make you to like, okay, let me spray neem oil, or let me spray imidacloprid, or whatsoever decision you have in your plan. So I think this few, we have other ways you can detect, but this few should be able to help you to make a good decision in helping you to detect pest and disease on your plants. Thank you very much.
Okay, that is very interesting. Use of sticky traps, use of scouting that are very important in determining and detecting early signs of pest and disease in your farm before it becomes an outbreak, before serious damages occur. So now we now understand that nutrition is like feeding your plants. Now we are now asking that you should expatiate more on the reason why proper nutrition is important in maintaining healthy vegetable crops.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sharon. What role does proper nutrition play in maintaining healthy vegetable crops? Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Nutrition is very important in your vegetable plants. The plants are living things. We are human beings. We have to
Yes.
eat. If we don't eat, what happens to us? We will start looking skinny, we'll start looking unhealthy, we'll start looking deteriorated and exposed and prone to a lot of disease and challenges. So same applies to our plants. If we don't feed our plants, we expose them to a lot of challenges, environmental challenges, insect challenges, pest challenges, disease challenges, and so on. So that's why it is very advisable that you have to feed your plant, and not just feeding them, knowing what the plants want at a particular time and when to give them the quantity, where are you applying it, at what rate, at what time, at what schedule. Those are very, very critical aspects that you have to consider in your nutrition regime. Also, it is very, very important you feed your plant because it will also determine what you are getting at the end of the day. It is what you give to your plant that it will give back to you. We always preach prevention. As it is said, prevention is cheaper than cure. If you don't do it, it will do you. And by the time it will be doing you, you'll be spending more to tackle that challenges that you have been avoiding. So if you feed your plants, they have the ability to resist disease, to withstand disease that will be coming to their way. They have the ability to tolerate stress, to withstand climate issue. They have the ability to deliver at the end of the day. And what do I mean by delivering? By giving you good outputs, good yield. And the good yield is what we eventually you will it which that's what we eventually turn to money for you. By the time you quantify it into monetary value, you will have a good yield, good money for what you have done. It will also, the feeding you are feeding the plant will also help to boost the microorganism of the soil. That simply means that you're also taking care of the soil, and your soil will be able to sustain you for a very longer period of time. So those feedings is very, very important when you are thinking of maintaining healthy vegetable crops. Thank you very much, Ms. Sharon. Can you hear me? Do like this if you can hear me. Just raise your hand.
Yes, I can hear you. So sorry, I'll be taking the question again. I was unmuted.
Okay,
So I'm asking
okay,
that what are the preventive measures farmers take to reduce pest and diseases pressure in their vegetable farms?
okay. Thank you very much for that beautiful question, Ms. Sharon. We have many measures that you have to consider when you want to reduce pest and disease pressure in your vegetable farm. First of all, for you to reduce pressure on your vegetable farm, your success starts from day one. The success of your production starts from not even day one, let me say day zero. And what does that day zero mean? It simply means maybe the day you went to the market to get your seed. So the seed you are getting determine your success. That is one. Two, your nursery management. How do you manage your nursery when you are raising your seed? Do you just expose them to different factors, and at the end of the day you just transplant them? That's two. Three, crop rotation. Do you practice crop rotation? Crop rotation is very, very important for those of us that does not practice crop rotation, because crop rotation help us to suppress disease. For instance, you planted tomatoes and you went back to plant tomatoes on same portion of land. There is a high tendency that you might be having issues of disease infestation because of the buildup of disease. But by the time maybe you introduce sweet corn to that same field, you have broken and suppressed that disease that is being built up by the period you planted tomatoes on that particular farm. Also, do you maintain good field sanitation?
Okay.
Do you take care of your field? How do you manage your field? Do you just weed when they've overtaken your plant, or when you just choose like I want to weed? No, your field must be very, very clean. By the time you notice your field is bringing out weeds, you have to weed them at the right time, not when it pleases you. No, it is when the plant wants a very clean environment, that it does not want disturbance from weeds, from insects, from any kind of thing. And how can you also control those insects? Is by making sure your field is clean. And if your field is clean, definitely you have the high tendency that you will have minimum of insects disturbing your plants. Also, another good way is your soil. You have to keep improving your soil. The moment you notice your soil is degrading, or you are not even sure of the pH of your soil, pH is to tell you if your soil is acidic or alkaline. They play a very significant role in your management, because if your soil is acidic, your plants cannot take up the nutrient that you are giving them. And if your soil is also alkaline, they cannot take up the nutrient that you're also giving them. So you must make sure that your soil have a good pH that is suitable for the crop you want to do, which is, and most vegetable crop prefer a pH of 6.5 to 7. So anyone that is going beyond that or above that calls for concern. So those are the major way you can manage your pest and disease in your farm. And one of the most important ways you can also manage pest and disease in your farm is what we call the IPM, integrated pest management. And this integrated pest management includes the cultural, the biological, the mechanical, and the chemical. Those are the four major management approach you use in managing your pest and disease on your farm. Thank you very much, Ms. Sharon.
That is very interesting to hear. IPM using the biological, the cultural, the chemical, and the mechanical preventive measures to reduce pests and diseases in your farm. You can also use the fact that your surroundings are clean enough. A clean surroundings will make less pests, less disease outbreak emerge in your farm. When you have a clean surroundings, your your farm is neat. The rate at which your pests and diseases will be reduced, especially when you weed at the appropriate time. Weeding at the appropriate time is very important also. So I'll be using this medium to thank our live viewers that are staying with us to this moment. Thank you for joining us this evening in this practical class this evening on preventive measures in which you can take care of our plants, plant management, in which you can take care of our plants, our farms. So I'll be telling everybody that if you want to register for Grove Challenge, the Grove Challenge registration is still ongoing. You can register with us through www.leveragefresh.com. Grove Challenge 5.0 is here. We've done the first cohort, the second, the third, the fourth, and now this is the fifth. There's a chance for you to register. The registration window is still open. You can join us, you can check us online, can tell your friends, you can tell your family members, you can tell your neighbors that a registration is going on and it's a challenge where you learn how to grow your vegetables. We have several major vegetables you can grow. So going forward, I'll be asking Mr. K that how effective is this you mentioned it earlier that IPM, that how effective is this integration pest management in our vegetable production, and how can farmers apply it?
Thank you very much, Ms. Sharon. How effective is integrated pest management in vegetable production? Integrated pest management is very, very effective. It's very, very effective in managing your your what is it called? Your sorry, I got it. Sorry for the distraction. Integrated pest management is very, very effective in your management approach, because most people don't know how important IPM is. IPM is very, very important because it saves you a lot. It saves you a lot. The most expensive part of your management is the purchase of chemicals. That takes a lot of your money. Most of the chemicals used are, or most of the pesticides used are chemicals, and that simply means that if you are using chemicals alone to manage your plant, it will be costing you a lot. And at the end of the day, the over reliance on chemical usage is not too advisable. So that is why we preach IPM, that is the integrated pest management, which include, as I said earlier, the cultural. The cultural approach is when you weed your field, you make sure your field is very, very clean, neat. That's one of the cultural approach. You apply plastic mulch, either using the straw or the nylon plastic mulch. Those are one of the cultural management approach in the IPM. We also have the mechanical. The mechanical is using the making use of your sticky traps, as I earlier mentioned, the pheromone traps, and so on. Those are the mechanical approach. We also have the what is it called? The biological approach. The biological approach consists is a long, but let me just break it down to the usage of we have what we call biopesticides. In biopesticide, they are very, very effective because they are like natural means of controlling pests in your farm. You can make use of, there are some natural insects, or let me say beneficial insects that feeds on those destructive ones. We have like the praying mantis, the ladybug. Those are beneficial insects that are natural bio, natural biological control. And we also have the biopesticide that have been produced using a higher technology to produce them. And we have what we call the trichoderma. Those are some of the biopesticide that helps to manage bacterial fluorescent wilt in your farm and so on. And the last one is the chemical approach that includes a lot of chemical usage, the imidacloprid, the mancozeb, and so on. So all those approaches, what we consider before you make your decision. And in the IPM management practice, the least or the last approach that you should consider is the chemical approach. And why that? If you have done your cultural, you've done your biological, you've done your chemical, and you are still experiencing those challenges, that is when you can now decide to go and make use of the chemical approach to tackle that challenges. So you can see the importance of IPM and how effective it will be, because it will save you a lot of costs. It will save you money that you want to spend, and it also increase your yield at the end of the day. It increase your profit, and not just increasing your profit, it also helps you to manage your soil properly and boosts your soil, because for every biopesticide usage, it helps to boost your soil structure, increase the microorganism in the soil, and so on. So you can see how effective they are. And how can farmer apply it? You can always apply the way I made mention of them. The first thing is for you to practice the cultural system. If you are done with that and you notice that after you make sure your farm is clean, is weed free, and you apply plastic mulch, you are still experiencing some challenges. That is when you can now decide to go for the mechanical. In short, the mechanical should even be in place during the process of your planting, because those are the use of sticky trap. Sticky trap is one of the most common mechanical IPM approach that is being used. So by the time fix those one in a different section of your farm, that will also help you to quickly take decision on the kind of insects that are present on the field. That will now help you to determine if you now should use a particular insecticide to tackle that challenge or not. Thank you very much.
That is very interesting. We've talked on how effective this IPM, that is integrated pest management, can be and how farmers can apply it. I'll be taking see Mr. Adepoju Adewale saying, it's nice seeing you, my God. Thank you so much. Mr. K, that's referring to you. Thank you so much for all you do. Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Adepoju Adewale. So, Mr. K, I'll be asking that farmers, we have both the open field and we have the protected system, which is the greenhouse. That how can they manage this plant? How can this manage this plant out differently in the open field and in the protected system, which is the greenhouse?
Thank you very much, Ms. Sharon. Thank you for that beautiful question. How can farmers manage plant health differently in open field versus protected system? Open field, as the name implies, open field, everything you are doing is in the open. So your plants are exposed to every both good and bad factors, unlike the protected system, that's the greenhouse. The greenhouse is the place that is being protected. Everything is regulated from the temperature to the humidity to the watering to the nutrient application. They are all regulated. Unlike the open field, the only thing you can easily regulate in the open field to some extent is the if that is if you are even doing irrigation system or irrigation practice in your farm. That simply means you can manage your irrigation to some extent. But apart from that, your open field are exposed to all those factors. The starting from the sunlight to the rainfall to the harsh weather and so on. So how can the two be differently managed? Of course, if you are managing your plants in the open field, you focus more in using your chemical, your biological pesticide more to manage the situation in the open field. Because as it is said, you have more insects to tackle in the open field, more pests and disease to tackle in the open field. For instance, if it rains, your plants are exposed to bacterial spots, bacterial wilts, and maybe damping off and root rot. Why? Because it just rained. Now imagine if the rain is excessive and there is no drainage or a drainage channel where the water can easily run off and dry to some extent. That means it calls for a huge concern. So those are um, one of the factors that is very, very vital in the open field. Unlike the greenhouse is protected. You manage everything, but the only disadvantage in the greenhouse is if you allow any pest, any insect to go into it, it is very, very difficult to control them because they grow faster, or they grow faster in the greenhouse unlike in the open field. And your water management in the greenhouse will require shorter duration. Unlike in the open field, you can water 3 times in a day depending on the temperature. Also, in the open field you cannot control humidity, but in the greenhouse you can control humidity. Humidity is the amount of air in the greenhouse, and if the humidity in the greenhouse is high, there is what we call the extractor fans that can easily take off the excessive hot air that is not healthy for the plant off the plant. There's what we call the mister. The mister helps the greenhouse to cool the place. So it some are automated, some are manual. You can use the manual to just go into your greenhouse and start spraying the water just to make sure the place is cool. Because the greenhouse is a little bit producing more heat depending on the time actually. So there are many factors that are against
Okay.
to to split your feeding in the open field. The reason being that it might leach. There's what we call leaching, and leaching is when it rains it erode your nutrient that you've applied. So you could imagine if you've applied all the nutrients in your open field during the rainy season and it rains heavily, there is a high tendency that it will leach. That is, the plants will not be able to use them to do what they are needed for. So with that, you can now decide to split it. Like, okay, let me give it today, tomorrow, and next tomorrow. Unlike in the greenhouse, you can decide to do it one because whenever it rains, the rains are not going in. So those are one of the factors that you can also use to manage your field, your in the open field. You need to weed more. You weed more in the
Okay.
open field, unlike in the greenhouse.
Greenhouse.
The weeds are not more because the weeds in the open field just keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. So you weed more. In the greenhouse, there is high tendency that there will be weed mats, there will be mulch, and so on. And most especially, they are not exposed to all other factors that will encourage weed growth. Because in the open field, your irrigation, your fertilization, the weeds also benefit from it, unlike in the greenhouse. So those are one of the way you can also manage or differentiate the two. Open field also, there is no bow control. What I mean by bow control, that there is easy access to your production in the open field. You cannot control the people that will go in or that will come out. If you're able to control your workers, you might not be able to control the external people that will be passing by, because it might be in a farm, except maybe your farm is even is fenced. Even if your farm is fenced, people you can it's not as easy as in the greenhouse, whereby you can just decide that it is only you that have access to go into the greenhouse, and it's only any other person that needs to go into there has to take permission from you or that, because you have the key and all that. So those are another factors that can differentiate the two. And also, earlier on, in the open field, you use more of your, what's it called? You use more of chemical and your, let me say, biopesticide and synthetic
Okay.
pesticide too. And you use less of it in the, what's it called, in the greenhouse. Let me stop there, Miss Sharon. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really giving us a very full lecture on this plant health system. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, I'm seeing some comments here. Mr. Depoju will take your questions after this section. Hope Ekalon is greeting also. We are saying well done and thank you for joining us also. So, Mr. K, now that we've talked about this plant health management principles, we've talked about this. It has been taught in classes for our Grover Challenge participants. Now we're asking that during the training, how can they apply this thing, this plant management principles, how can they apply it in their own farms?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Sharon. That's a good question, because they need to apply it. That's what we want them to do, to make sure they apply what they are being taught, so that they can be part of the food ambassador, both national and internationally. Everything we said is just the way you should apply it. The first thing is for you to be present. You have to be present. You have to be available. You have to make yourself available. Um, don't be a lone ranger. Always seek advice. Always seek opinion. Always hear from other people. Always share knowledge and ask questions. Two, um, don't wait until the challenges come before you react. Be a preventive farmer. Don't be a reaction farmer. What I mean by preventive farmer, if you already have your plan, follow your plan, your spraying regime, your nutrient regime, follow it. Not when your plant starts showing symptoms of bacterial wilt, viral infection, phosphorus deficiency. That's when you start reacting. That is not a good approach. So also, have a plan. Have a plan. um Monitor your plants is very, very important. Scout your plan. We talked about scouting before. Make sure you scout your plants. When you scout them, it will help you to decide on what next to do by scouting. um Also, make sure you are not greedy in feeding your plants. It's a business. You have to take it as a business. Feed your plants very well, not just very well. Feed them when it is needed, at the right time, at the right place, at the right schedule. That's what we call the four arrows. Um, I think the participants have the privilege of having all those guidelines at their fingertip, the feeding regime, the nutrient regime, and so on. So it's a plus for them too. Also, don't forget your one important aspect to your IPM. Have a IPM plan. The IPM plan should entail your cultural, your mechanical, your biological, and your chemical. Have a plan that you want to follow. Also, also have those plans for you too. So it's a congratulations for that. And make sure you are always available, and make sure you keep learning, you keep upgrading, you keep updating yourself, because there are many information out there. There are many innovation that is coming in place, that is coming in shape. So you have to make sure that you are updated and you key into them, so that it will help you to improve, it will help you to grow and to expand. Thank you very much.
Yes. So I'll be taking few comments now. And Janito Mintoko says, be a preventive farmer, not a reactive farmer. You got that from this live show. Don't be greedy. In feeding your plant, it is a business. That is very interesting. All this nutrient regime, feeding regime, nutrition regime that Mr. K is talking about, if you register for Global Challenge 5.0, you have access to it. Just like you said, don't be a lone ranger. In this farming business, you need to be in a community. We have communities that we put people in place. When you register with us, register for a challenge, you learn more about it. You you get more advice about it. You have any questions, people that are experts, that are willing and that are ready on ground to answer your question at any time of the day. Your questions will be answered. So don't be a lone ranger, just like Mr. K said. Register with us for Global Challenge 5.0 at www.leveragefresh.com. You can reach out to us on our Facebook page, on our TikTok account, Instagram. See the same page name, see the same page handle, Leverage Fresh Limited. So, Mr. K, I'll be asking you, I'll not say the last, I'll say the last question, but not the least question, that what key advice will you give to farmers that maintains healthy crops from planting to final harvest? That farmers that want to maintain this healthy crop, that what is the key advice you would like to give to them?
Thank you very much, Miss Sharon. What key advice am I going to give to the farmers? As I said earlier on, don't be a lone ranger. Make sure you are able to relate with people. No, there is no one is an island in this agri sector. Make sure you relate, make sure you connect, make sure you link up, make sure you share your experience, and don't do it alone, because you cannot do it alone. Um, Always have a plan. It is a business, so have a plan, have a record for every activity that you are doing. Make sure it is documented. Make sure you have a record. If you have a record, it will always help you to determine what you are doing. Have a financial records too on your production, your expenses, what is going in, what is coming out. Sometimes you might just decide to give somebody 2 kg of tomato. You are not costing it. Even if you are giving it out as a gift, cost it. That will help you to know what is really going into it and what is coming out. And also
Yeah.
make sure you are available. Don't be an absentee farmer. Be a farmer that know what he or she is doing. When you know what you are doing, it will be easy for you to to grow. And make sure you are not greedy. Make sure you are not selfish. And always communicate with your plants. They are living things. When you go there, ask them, hey, plants, tomatoes, how are you doing? Make sure hope you are fine, hope you are good, make sure you are good. Speak to them. I am telling you, they will answer you and they will be happy you are speaking to them. And the more
Yes.
you speak to your plants, the more lively and healthy they will be. Thank you very much.
That is very interesting. That is very wonderful. Speak to your plants. So I'm taking the last comment for today. It says Isaac Thomas Olamide Omopayola says success of a vegetable farmer starts from the day one. That is the sourcing of the seed, which is very, very true. Sourcing of your seed, your success as a vegetable farmer starts from day one. So now be at the end of this live session for today. So To our live viewers that stayed with us to this moment, thank you for this for staying with us and thank you for this practical insight, Mr. K. You're saying thank you so much for this practical insight. If you've not registered for Growth Vet Challenge 5.0, this is a call out to you, a call to action to you that register now with us. You can tell your friends. If you have anybody, it's not compulsory you're a farmer that you want to start in a large scale. You want to grow your food. You can grow your food in your house. You can grow what you eat also. Your food should not be bought every time. You can get plant yourself. It's a soil. It's not compulsory even have land. It's not supposed to compulsory to large scale. You can do it in a small size. You can do home gardening in your compound, right in your house. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your loved ones that there's a registration going on for Grow Vet Challenge 5.0. Register with us and we give you access to all these things Mr. Kia talked about, your nutrition regime, your community, your access to experts, people that have gone through this process before and they understand what it means and what it takes. So now we are coming to the end of this live session. Thank you so much, our dear viewers. Mr. K, thank you so much. You can say bye bye to our viewers now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day, lovely night. Be good all. And welcome to Grover Challenge 5.0. Good luck to everyone. Success.
Good luck to everybody. Goodbye, sir.
Good night.